I'm Gale Brewer, and I'm the Manhattan Borough President, but mostly I'm just really honored to be here tonight. Congratulations to every single person. Happy birthday, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. I want to thank the Women's Activism NYC, Women's Suffrage Centennial Program Director, you heard from Tracy Pansweet, and most of all, the New York City Department of Records and Information Services. Let me tell you about Pauline Toole. I just want to say something really special about her and about the Municipal Library and what we call Doris, which is that I didn't dislike or hate the last administration, but I was really pissed when they wanted to merge Doris with the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, and I said, hell no. And as head of the Government Operations Committee, we kept it separate. But we didn't know that the de Blasio administration would be so brilliant as to bring in Pauline Toole as a commissioner and bring all of this to you tonight. I know that our First Lady is here also tonight, and I just want to say, you know that she's special in many ways, but I saw in the past her writing. She's one of the best writers in the United States, and I want to thank Shirlane McRae for that talent, because it's very, very special. It's also special to be here at Cooper Union, because we're here in the Great Hall. You know, we're usually here for the Rent Guidelines Board. We're usually here to support tenants. I've been here for 20 years. I think about it in that way, and I think about it in terms of Abraham Lincoln. But one of the few women, as we know, who spoke here, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. Those two women were some of the few women who spoke here in history. I want to tell you about these two women. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but for anybody who knows me, I'm always talking too much. So my friend Pam Elam, whom I'm sure is here tonight, so she had this, what I thought was a totally insane idea, which is to try to get a statue of these two women to be in Central Park. And to the credit of the Parks Department, nobody ever says no to Pam Elam, and to the credit of the Parks Department, they said yes. And so she is now fundraising for a statue to be at 77th Street and Central Park West of those two women. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. I mean, it's huge in the sense not only are there very few women in Central Park in terms of statues or in parks in general, but the fact that she's been able to pull this off with her colleagues. She didn't do it alone. We never do anything alone. But it also, so tonight is special because we have so much to celebrate. We all think about Seneca Falls, we think about the suffragettes, we think about the march down Fifth Avenue, which, you know, is also part of our history. And talk about marches. I know we all saw the women's soccer, first time that an entire soccer, women, or women's sports in general, have ever had a ticker tape parade, so that's another first, and I want to thank the de Blasio administration for doing that. It was very special. And if you go on Broadway, right near the Woolworth building, you'll see the newest strand in the sidewalk, which states and honors the women's soccer team for being here on July 10th, 2015, and it's right there in the sidewalk. So it's very special, very special. So then we have Women's Equality Day, and I was a big admirer of Bella Abzug, the Congresswoman. She was the one that got that day commemorated. We don't want to forget the 19th Amendment, and we might forget it if we didn't actually have a day. Bella would scream at you 1 minute and hug you the next. You didn't know which it was going to be, so you were always scared shit when she walked in the room, to be honest with you. At least I was. But the Women's Equality Day calls attention to women's work to break gender, class, and race in public and private life, and Bella was a leader in that way. So, as Manhattan Borough President, I'm honored to welcome tonight's celebration of women's achievements through these phenomenal speakers and performers. You know, there are so many ways to be active in New York City. Certainly, being talented as the people we've seen on the stage are is one way. You can also be a member of a community board. I know that sounds like something that is not necessarily as talented as the people on the stage, but you need a lot of talent to deal with zoning and land use in this city, I'll tell you that from my own experience. But we all need to make sure that the 200th birthday celebration of Elizabeth Cady Stanton is celebrated in all different ways. And one of the ways, of course, we're going to be talking about the Women's Suffrage Centennial in 2020, which of course will be a milestone in terms of getting towards that and doing some of the activities and activism that have been talked about tonight. And I think that the women's movement does understand that respecting one another cultures helps us to mobilize our resources through our shared convictions for social justice and equality. And there are 5 immigrant women leader fellows who are absolutely fall into this category. They are talented, they believe in social change, they are social change agents with an established record of achievement in our city's nonprofit, grassroots, academic, and faith-based organizations. These women are committed to advancing the status of immigrant women and girls. So I hope the following fantastic women will stand up. I don't know if the lights can shine on them. We've got Ramatu Ahmed, Diane Danier, Kajori Chaudhry, Kali Nadoy, and Azi Khalili. Please stand up and be recognized. Thank you very much. And you know, their skill and their talent is amongst many in our city, but it takes a lot. We're a big city. We have a lot of challenges. We're bigger than most of the countries in the world. We're the 4th largest in the United States. And so every bit of voter registration, every bit of getting people to understand our very convoluted registration and voting rules is important. And I hope that coming out of tonight, it's just one other aspect of activism that we play. So now I have a really special role, which is to introduce a young performer who is a consummate individualist. And most of you know that a consummate individualist is a code word for a badass New Yorker. That's the kind I love. And this rapper and singer grew up in East Harlem and on the Lower East Side, 2 absolutely phenomenal neighborhoods who happen to be in Manhattan and not Brooklyn, just saying. And she makes music that is not just worldly, but cosmic. She is a vocal supporter of queer, trans, and STEM sexuality and a multifaceted artist from the New York City underground. Please welcome the very fabulous to the stage, Princess Nokia. Thank you very much.